Man, happy Saturday morning, match day 5, everyone. We are almost, I use the word almost, halfway through of the UWS Summer of Soccer, and it's only getting better. Good morning, Megan. Good morning, Kaylor. Katie will be joining us shortly. How are you two doing today?
Good morning. I'm good. I am on the coffee because it's been a busy week, but I'm ready to speak all things soccer. It's been a great week. Katie, who'll be joining us shortly, was actually in Orlando, so we were able to meet for the first time despite being co-hosts for literally a year now. So that was pretty mad. Harley, Katie, and I went out for brunch, which was so lovely. And then I had another friend in Orlando, and I've been working and everything like that. But I am so ready for this weekend because we have some great matches coming up.
Kaylor, before we get to you, Katie, Megan, we had some exciting news this week. You officially joined the UWS team. What in the world? What is going on? What happened?
Thank you, Kayla. So yes, I will be the PR coordinator for the UWS, which I'm super excited about. As you guys know, I love all things soccer. I want to be involved in every single level, and public relations kind of allows me to do that. The podcasting, the writing, all that stuff kind of combines it all into one. And I'm super excited for this opportunity. I'm very grateful to be doing it with the UWS, which is an organization that I've supported from the beginning.
That's awesome. We're really proud of you. Really excited. It's almost like it was just a year ago that you were doing shows with us, and now, boom, you jumped into the mainstream. And I'm really proud to have you on board. It's going to be awesome. It's nice to have you as part of the family. Kaylor, you're part of the family. You just don't have a cool, fancy title yet. But my man, how are you? What's going on in Kaylor land down there in Alabama? I saw the Roll Tide Cup. We might have to get rid of that. That may just need to 86 it to the right or left.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm absolutely buzzing today. I'm not going to lie. My fiance is coming to town, so I'm super stoked to see her. And I mean, you can't see her, but there's a cute dog behind me. So like things cannot be going any better today.
Man, that's awesome. Got a dog. Fiance's coming in. You got it all rolling. You're wearing a brightly colored kit. What are we sporting today?
It's the Racing Louisville. On the back is Neely Martin, Bama grad, someone that I watched for a long, long time, and then she signs in WSL, and I was stoked. So
that's awesome.
I got it.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations on that. I like that kid. It's very, very, very easy on the eyes. But hey, listen, we've got match day 5 ahead of us. And as I said, we're almost halfway through the season. Of the 44 teams that we have, mathematically, we can say 18 have been eliminated already from playoff contention, showing a little bit of teams starting to pull away, but also teams who have put their foot down and said, you're not getting past us, which is kind of crazy. We'll talk about that in our roundup of week 4. But hey, just in case everybody was wondering, what do you mean we're halfway done? Well, July 3rd, Great Lakes and Heartland, the divisions of Great Lakes and Heartland, they are done. Their league is, they go till July 3rd, bearing any changes in the schedule. July 4th, the Southeast Conference will be done. July 6th, the Midwest. July 9th, the New England. July 10th, the Mid-Atlantic, the Penn, New York, the Southwest will be done, and then followed by July 16th, which is going to be the Western Conference. And then, hey, we had the national championship that's going to begin July 23rd, running till the 23rd to the 24th, Monday, because I turned 40 on Monday, is going to be the national championship. Still secretive on that location until we finalize things. And I'll have to say good morning to Katie. Katie, what is going on? You must have been stuck at the airport coming back from Orlando after visiting Megan and having brunch, a couple of mimosas, yeah?
I know, yes. We'll say that's what happened. Yeah, no, that was so fun though. It's so funny. We all got together, me, her, and Harley, and all of us said, we all thought you were taller. Like each one of us thought each and every one of us were way taller. How weird is that?
It's like that Spider-Man meme where everybody's pointing at each other like,
yep. It really is. It really, yeah.
I have that.
How
same
you guys
approach.
Doing this morning?
It's early. It's early. It's already 80 degrees here in Sacramento. I'm burning. I got the door open. My pool's like 92. You can just jump in it. You got a bathtub. It's like, come on now. It's crazy morning.
The weather's been crazy here too, but I will say when I went to Orlando, that it's like humid at 7 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, how is it so humid and stuffy and like no
Right.
breeze or anything? At least there's a breeze in the morning in Texas, but it's getting up to 102. It's also 80 here. It's getting up to 102, 103 during the day. It's crazy. Nobody wants to leave their house, so it's that time of year.
Well, hey, y'all, we, again, halfway through the season, 18 teams of the 44 can be mathematically eliminated from contention. But we had a great past weekend. Match day 4 offered a lot of opportunity, a lot of great matches coming around. So let's get started. Let's get the people interested and get them recapped on match day 4 of the UWS. So we'll start with you, Katie. What match had your eye, and what did you come up with?
Yeah, so I had my eyes on the FC Berlin and Rochester Lancers game. And first, I just want to start by saying their production was fabulous. I mean, if you look at their graphics, and this was all put on by FC Berlin, they had aerial views, they had instant replays, the game was clear. It was announced by an English guy. I felt like I was watching something off of ESPN Plus or something like that. So serious appreciation for that because it made my job much easier. And it really helped to give the game more life. Whenever you get that really good coverage, you get the drama, you get all the little pieces there. And so what I noticed is both teams just showed up with fire from the get-go. I mean, the first half was pretty equal with both teams. Equal challenging of 50-50s, and FC Berlin's midfield actually did a really good job of just closing down the attack early and many times in the attacking half. But they were able to just squeeze a goal in there in the first 5 minutes of the second half. So that's where a lot of the drama started happening. We had, more challenges, more fouls, more corner kicks, all kinds of things. But FC Berlin did lead in the first half for 5 minutes in. Tegan Morrison gained an incredible assist after a beautiful cross that met the head of number 12, Simone Tin. So she just tucked it perfectly into the back of the net. And I mean, beautiful goal. So we have that. We continue playing through the second half. Again, a lot of crazy challenges, fouls, like I said. And then in the 78th minute, number 19, Caroline Kopp from the Lancers scored the equalizer off just an equally beautiful header off a corner. So that goal, I think, was enough to kind of put some wind in the sails for the Lancers. And they scored a second goal shortly after that by number 20, Jenna Tivnan, scored in the 81st minute. And so that sent FC Berlin home with a loss. But I mean, it really was a good game overall. The goals were beautiful, all of them beautiful. And I think if you want to go back and watch that game, it's really easy to watch because of all the graphics and the coverage. So that's a really good one.
Anything that's easy on the eyes when you're watching soccer, right? You got to keep it that way. I always find myself watching Arlo White or listening to Arlo White and just having that in the back of my head. I think if there's anything, for those of you who are familiar with American sports, if you have a baseball team, there's always that one announcer, Joe Buck, that you just can't stand. So you have to mute him and you have to put somebody else on the recording. So one year during the World Series, the Giants were playing, so I had to turn off Buck, and I queued it up with the radio call, which was John Miller, and John Miller is the voice of baseball. Anybody disagree with me, you can sit here and we'll have a conversation. But it was amazing. That's the best way to do it. And anytime I can get Arlo White or JP to call a soccer match, I'll definitely sit down and listen. But a good English accent. Megan, maybe we have to get you on the call for the national championship this year.
There you go.
Spoiler alert.
I'm so ready for it. I absolutely love commentating.
Oh, this will be fun. I'm excited.
That would be great. Yeah.
Kaylor, what match did you get, and what was the result?
So I ended up looking down into Gretna Elite versus FC Wichita. This is going to be a battle for the top of the standings. I mean, this is a tight division. What is it? Is that Heartland? Yeah.
Yeah, the Heartland division, for those of you who are familiar, this is the tightest running division at the moment. If you look at the way it's set up, there is a separation. Let me go right to it. from number 1 to number 4. There's a 3-point difference, but Side FC still has a chance. They have to win today. It's a must-win game. We talk about must-win matches. Side FC has one. We'll discuss that a little bit. But, yeah, only 5 points separate number 6 to number – 5 to number 1.
And this is the one that caught my eye because you had FC Wichita coming in where they had the chance to go to the top of the league with a game in hand. And they go up early within the first minute, 1-0. And I was just sitting there and I was like, okay, Wichita, it's about to be a thrashing. This isn't the matchup I thought I was going to get. And then late into the first half, we get the equalizer. And I'm like, okay, here we go. Ball game, baby. Let's go. And in probably one of the most heartbreaking ways to lose a match is giving up a penalty, especially after going up in the first minutes. FC Wichita was not able to come out with the win, but full, kudos to Gretna Elite. After that first goal, I mean, I'm going to ask you, Katie and Megan, as players, if you give up a goal early, right, it's one of those things that, well, that sucks, but also we have 89 minutes to get this one back. So, but I mean, going up that early for Wichita, that's a heartbreaker. But if you are Gretna Elite, you are on top of the planet right now, knowing that you come back from that and don't let it all fall apart early.
Yeah, definitely. Conceding in the first minute is a tough one, but it's also like, okay, we didn't start well. That's a wake-up call. Thankfully, we have a lot of time. Let's get our crap together and we go again. And they clearly did.
I'm guessing your question was what happens if they score an early goal on you? Sorry, my internet went out.
No, it was basically like, what's the mindset? Obviously, you have the 89 minutes to get one back, but also it's so easy to fall into, we're already down after a minute. We suck.
Right. I mean, it's definitely a shocker, a slap in the face, but for me, it's always been kind of like, when you're in the ambulance and they just kind of shock you awake. I think it's more of a wake up call for me personally, and it creates a sense of urgency because you have a lot to make up for already early on. You're starting behind. So anytime I've ever experienced that as a team, now if a second goal comes pretty quickly, that'll just suck the wind right out of your sails, no doubt. But I think so much of that just depends on the team you're with at the time and how everybody performs. I mean, it's one of those things like if a couple of people start becoming affected, it can really travel through the team, So it's like knowing early on that, no matter what happens, we have to give her all in the entire 90 minutes, regardless of if we're down 3 or 4 or 5. And I think a lot of times, that going into the game, if you're going to get spanked or if it's going to be a good fight or if there's a good chance you can win, and so I think that mindset plays a huge role, just knowing who you're up against too.
It also helps.
Sorry. I was just going to say, I think when it came to Gretna, it's a real testament to them that they didn't let it affect them. And that comes from having like really solid relationships between the players and the coach. Right. Like, okay, we conceded. How do we react? They obviously reacted very well to the situation. And that shows a very strong club.
Yeah, and it's really easy to get back into it. I mean, both keepers honestly played out of their mind. Mallory Lund, she had 7 saves. Obviously, she conceded the 2, but one was a pin, so she really only conceded 1 in my mind. And the other one, I mean, Mackenzie Smith, have yourself a night. 9 saves, only letting in 1, and it happened in the first minute for basically 90 minutes if you include stoppage time. She pitched a shutout. It was one heck of a night, and knowing as a defender that you have that kind of keeper behind you, it probably doesn't let you get your head down too quickly.
No, she's got some big mitts. She's been making big saves all year, and this is just the beginning. 9 saves, and then who knows? Maybe I think there was one match earlier where she had a lot more. I want to say it was maybe 11. I think in week 2. So there's always that possibility where keepers just come up big and save some fannies, and not that it's a bad thing, but some defenses need to start looking at themselves and be like, okay, what do we need to do to make sure we're not giving up this many shots? I didn't know Harry Maguire was playing in the UWS at any point. Ouch. Sorry, Megan. As England plays today, you got Harry Maguire in the back. That's always a problem.
I like Harry Maguire. Come at me with the hate. I like Harry Maguire.
It's because he allowed Watford to almost stay unrelegated. We can go there this week. I gave you 3 weeks of reprieve.
Remind me not to wear my Palace shirt anytime soon.
I don't know if you guys caught the U.S. men Granada game last night, but honestly, the game that I just watched with the Lancers and FC Berlin looked significantly better than the U.S. men's first half. I mean, it was trash. It was so bad. I was like, what is going on, guys? I know. I mean, they got better in the second half and they at least started putting them away, but like, kind of should have been an 8-0 game. Anyway, I was going to make that comment. Didn't want to go there, but since we're all going there today.
We're going there.
I'll throw some shade. Why not?
Megan, what game had your what had your eye and your attention, and what was the outcome?
So my eyes was on the Lancaster Inferno game versus New Jersey Copa, and Lancaster came out on top 4-1, and Lancaster Inferno are just showing their dominance in this mid-Atlantic division. They got the scoring underway in the 15th minute as Kaylor was able to find the back of the net from a dangerous cross into the back post. And just 1 minute later, they were back in the action in the box. Jackie Richards made an excellent run down the right wing. Her speed is insane. She's definitely a player to watch. She won a corner off that move, and then Marissa DiGenova's corner found Richards in the box, and she was able to get her first goal of the game and Lancaster's second. So 2-0 after 16 minutes. 33rd minute, Lancaster back at it again. Richards showing her versatility. She was kind of switching between that left wing and the right wing. And this time her run into the back post from the left wing paid off, and she was able to find the back of the net off an assist from Mazzaros. And then the first half goal fest was not done yet. Richards once again found herself through on goal. Mazzaros was able to thread a ball through, and Richards struck from distance this time for her third of the evening and Inferno's fourth. So it was a really, really tough half for New Jersey Copa. They were able to get a consolation goal to slightly ease the blow in the 67th minute. Lancaster just weren't able to clear a corner. It was a very kind of lapsed in concentration moment. Inferno looked really solid the whole game, except in that time, and they were really punished for it, conceding their first goal in the UWS season this year. So I think they'll be a little bit disappointed with that. But overall, their performance was just so strong. They were really, really dominant, clearly knew what was going to be done going into that game. Richards was a standout player for me. And I think that partnership between Jackie Richards and Kaylor Mazzaros is going to be a really interesting one to continue to see that grow. And yeah, New Jersey Copa needs to kind of step it up a little bit. Then are sat at the bottom of that table in the Mid-Atlantic Division, and Lancaster Inferno up at the top with that perfect 4-0 record.
Yeah, and you know what? This is the scary thing about Lancaster, and I'll say this. You've gone 3 weeks without conceding. 3 weeks without conceding. That's pretty big. If you think about soccer in general, to not concede is a good. I mean, I would rather not concede than score a lot of goals. Lancaster at a +7 goal differential. So this was one of those matches where they started to separate their goal differential a little bit. To concede, there's two things that can happen here. One, either you're really pissed off and you don't want to concede again, or you're going to start seeing more goals bleed in because you've lost that concentration in order to continuously not concede. So now you've conceded. It's like, okay, what switch? Does the switch go up and you turn the lights on and you don't concede the rest of the way, or you're really aggressive, or do you start to see more goals kind of leak in the back going forward? It will be interesting. They have 2 games in hand also on the second place team, Coppermine United, who only played 2 matches, has 2 wins, and is only 6 points away from that. So that's just 2 games. So we'll see what happens as that unfolds. Keystone United has not played. They actually make their first debut this weekend against Coppermine. So we'll see what happens. And that's tomorrow is when they will take that opportunity. So we'll see. So what will come? Who knows? But I can tell you this: 4 and 5, Paisley and New Jersey. Unless some lightning in a bottle hits, Paisley and New Jersey Copa could be out of playoff contention today. Is how I look at it. If Lancaster can walk away with a win, which they did last night, they walked away with a win, so they are now at 15 points. Probably, I'm not going to say it because I know I'll get some flack from Coppermine, sealing that conference or that division. So we'll see.
Yeah, Lancaster have been very, very dominant. I feel like they kind of have, we haven't touched on them too much in the kickoff show so far, kind of sliding under the radar just because those wins that they've been getting have not been, like you say, super dominant. They've not got multiple goals in a lot of games. I think one of their wins was just a 1-0 win, but they're doing what they need to do. They're not conceding, like you say, which has been so key. And that's really a confidence builder for a team. And I believe that going forward, it will, like, conceding that goal will to New Jersey Copa will have been like a light switch moment. Like, we can't lose concentration because teams in the UWS are strong. Like, New Jersey Copa are not a weak side. If you lose concentration, they can score against you. So it's key to be ready for anything across the 90 minutes of play.
Yeah, we'll see what continues to happen there as the league continues to grow and games go on. Games starting today on 11. Special thanks to our partners with Select, Duke Tig, VO, NL Tactical Boards, Impact Canopy, and Fearless and Capable for helping us put on this production of the show every morning as we get you ready and geared up for the summer of soccer in UWS. We are in match day 5, which is week 5 of the season. Again, we are halfway done with everything. So hey, let's jump into match day 5 a little bit here, everybody. Katie, what match has your eyes today?
As for today, I believe I wasn't super prepared for today, but as for, I think we have the Athenians playing, right? Don't we have Athenians? I don't know. I wasn't really super prepared for that. I just had my one preview and my one match recap.
So the Athenians are in action on Sunday against the CTX Hornet.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. My internet decided to go all the way down. My power went out. I apologize for that. That was a first. A lot of new things happening. Are we still? We're still live. Okay, good. All right. Well, I apologize, everyone, for that. That was that's on the host. Megan's gonna have to take over this role from now on.
No, I mean, for my preview, my match preview, I had the Athenians going head to head with the SA Runners again on 6/17. The last match ended up as a 5-0 loss. I'm interested to see if maybe they come out a little different next time, considering if you look back at last season, the Athenians lost 6-0 to LSR, and then came back and beat them in the second game, right? So who knows? Maybe that's something we might see come from the Runners as well once they've had that little wake-up call. And then you also have number 4 Wilco FC up against FC Austin Elite coming up. And it's going to be their first time playing each other. But, just looking at Wilco's record, I definitely have to call FC Austin Elite on this one. I think they're going to take the win at the end of the day, but I guess you kind of never really know with it being a local rivalry, right? So, they've beat the Hornets, they've lost the Athenians 3-0, they've lost to Luxoria 6-0, and so now we're just going to have to see how Austin shows out if they're going to rack up the goals. That's one thing I've kind of noticed about FC Austin Elite is, like, even though they're winning, they're not really racking up a ton of goals, which is whatever, and who knows what's going on behind the scenes there, but they are winning at the end of the day, and they do have points on the board, and they are getting goals. So if I had to choose, I think it'd be Austin Elite on that one. Yeah,
I'm gonna give our viewers just a heads up. It seems like my power might be going out. My pool generator just went down. So if we fall out again, I will be right back on. We'll restore everything except for whatever's happening. I don't know. There's these brownouts in California, I swear. California might be time to leave California.
Are you guys having power grid issues too?
We don't have power grid issues. What happens is we have brownouts, which kind of like just takes everything off the grid for a little bit. But I don't know. This is weird. I've never experienced it at this level. So
Yeah.
2 times in less than 20 minutes. But so Katie, yeah, I think you're spot on. It will be interesting to see Wilco versus Austin Elite. I know they play at the same facility. I know they probably had a couple of opportunities to watch each other train. So we'll see what's happening here. Kaylor, what match has you ready for the weekend? You're muted. I got you.
As soon as I started talking, I remembered. So I do have I have one match I want to preview and something I want to just bring attention to. We have Pensacola and the Atlanta Panthers. Both are playing back-to-back games here in the Southeast Division. They play today, and then Pensacola goes and stays in Atlanta. They go to Atlanta Fire on Sunday, while on Sunday the Panthers are going over to Birmingham. I do think that the Panthers are going to have the better of the day twos, as I think the Atlanta Fire are a really freaking good team that just unfortunately started a little bit late, but I think that they are really good. But my actual preview, I want to stay in the Heartland because this division has my eye. They aren't the speedy, fast, physical of like the West and all that kind of stuff that we've been seeing there, but they don't have all the major goal scoring that we see in the East.
I'm gonna have you hold because
Yes.
we are about to go down. Hold on.
All right, yeah.
Yep.
There it is.
And he's gone.
We're still going. We're still live.
We are still live. Katie, you had a momentary camera outage.
Yeah. What is going on? Is it Mercury retrograde or something?
I really apologize for this, everyone. This is new to me. I am not used to it. I can't handle it. This is really annoying. It's like, oh, here goes my power, and I can hear it. And it's like, no, don't do that to me.
Guys, the funniest thing just happened as everything's going down with all these videos. My dog somehow comes in the room and is like making his way towards me. And he's kind of the loud, crazy one. So I was like, uh-oh, I'm going to have to mute everything and shut down my video because it's about to get crazy in here.
So again,
I think on all sides, things are a little wild technologically today. And
I'm just
even
sitting back
the
and
animals
sipping
are
my
feeling
tea.
it.
I know.
Yeah.
For once, Megan's video has not been. She's not been paused for 5 or 6 minutes. Fingers crossed in that Florida. We always give you a bad time, Megan, about Florida always interrupting your connection. Here I am in California, which is getting its interruption. My bill is paid, Michael. Okay, you want to go there? We'll go full name. Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Michael.
I'll remember that as you're driving up to South Lake Tahoe for a match, looking up the beautiful way up there. They have ARFC will play their first match this weekend against Reno Vikings up in South Lake Tahoe this weekend, which is awesome. If you've never been to South Lake Tahoe, it is a destination that people need to visit here in the great state of California. So hey, let's get into a little bit more. Let's go ahead and continue with our commentary here, Kaylor, as you were talking about the Atlanta Panthers traveling, playing back-to-back matches with their with their rival of Pensacola.
Yeah, so basically I just wanted to point out there that they have those 2 back-to-backs, I think, because of a rescheduling. And so you have Pensacola, they're going to have a harsh day 2 against the Fire, which after seeing them up close again with their 3-1 win over FC Birmingham, they are just as good as I thought they were going to be when I mentioned it last week. But, the Panthers do have a bit of an easier game going against FC Birmingham. But, hey, those back-to-back days, especially having to travel after one, not fun. But the one that I really wanted to get to was going to be in the Heartland Division, and it was going to be FC Wichita versus the Arkansas Comets. Arkansas Comets get their first points of their, club with the UWS. And I said it preseason, I thought they were going to be grinders. I thought they were going to be just that club that was going to be a thorn in somebody's side. And after watching their 1-1 draw, I really believe that. And I think that they are going to be, I don't know if they're necessarily going to cause FC Wichita. I don't think they're going to beat FC Wichita, but I think they're going to give them a massive game. I think they're going to really just give it to them and make them work for all 90, which in that Heartland division, hey, that's going to be happening almost every week, it seems like.
Yeah, that's going to be. I mean, that division. Look, the division is meant to be completed here by July 4th. So there's a lot of matches between now and then. They may have to figure it out and go a little deeper. But as it relates to that opportunity, there's definitely they got some games to make up here before they end the season on July 4th. But we'll see. Megan, you have.
I was going to say this is also a chance for FC Wichita to go top of the table as well. This is one of their games in hand, so this is their chance.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because I think after they lost their first game, after a 3-0 perfect start, they then dropped down into third position. So I feel like, that just shows you how competitive that division is, and really every single game and every single point is so key.
Yeah, I mean, even at the beginning of the year, you have to think, right? You've got a short window. You have to try to get as many points as possible in that time frame, whether that time frame is a week or 2 match days. You've got to be able to go out with a mindset that you have to win and you have to play well. You can't concede, as we've already talked about. But I don't know. You get a lot of these new teams. Again, we've discussed this. A lot of these new teams come in, and are they prepared for what the UWS is? Look, it's not a pay-to-play league. This is a league where it is giving you an opportunity to sharpen your skill set, to get ready for college, to kind of put yourself out there a little bit. So when you look at what's happening and you look at the league, do teams come in with a different mindset that, okay, hey, this is all fun until somebody gets hurt kind of thing? But what do you guys think? Does that play? We've talked about this a lot. I know it's like a broken record, but as it relates to the tactical prowess and how we see the game, does that have or play any role in the execution for some of these newer or even more established sides? We look at a struggling New Jersey Copa side. We look at struggling teams all the time. Does that play or have any weight in there? Maybe that they got late started late. They aren't unified. They get one practice a week. Megan, as you guys have, but you guys also do things outside of the approach. What are your guys' takes on this as it relates to kind of the camaraderie and how the team is built up?
Well, I think it's interesting that, you've got teams like Keystone or Pensacola who haven't actually played yet, and we're in week 5. And you wonder if that's on purpose because they knew that they weren't going to have all their players together yet. They needed that time to gel because it is really important. Like we said, every point is so important. Every point matters and counts. And when you're going into games, if you haven't been able to develop together, even if, you played last year and you were great, coming into a new season, you haven't played with each other for a year, maybe you've got some new players being thrown into the mix. Like, it's difficult to be able to put in a unified starting 11 and then substitutes coming into on the field right at the beginning of the season. And so I think it's really interesting. And I don't know how much teams have an influence on schedules and things, but the fact that there's some teams who are yet to play, I'm very interested to see if how their first games compare to people's first games back at the very start of the season in May.
Right. I just adding to that, I feel like they're kind of already at a disadvantage, even if they are pushing their games back, just because all these other teams have not only had their full preseason, they've had time to play together, but they've had time to play against other teams. And like, that's a whole nother ball game. Just game training is just not the same as practice training, no matter how hard you try. You can say practice like you play, but you're just not going to go as hard as you will against your teammate as you might in a game, right? So like there's that whole thing as well. And if you even look across the board at national teams, whether it's US, Mint, or England, or wherever, like you can take the best players in the world and you can put them on a team together, and they're still not going to gel and be as cohesive as they are with their club teams. And that's something that we see a lot of announcers talk about all the time when these national teams get together and they start playing. It's because they haven't had the chance to really fully gel, and then the roster kind of changes a little bit over time. Usually, you have your solid starting 11, but even just moving the roster around a little bit can affect a team. So I think, in my humble opinion, I think that they are at a bit of a disadvantage by getting together late and starting their games late, because they've these other teams, they're 5 weeks in, right? And they've had all of this time to play and gel, and so yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. But you can have the best individual talent in the world, but it's a team sport, right? So unless we can all gel together as a team and be cohesive, move across the field together, not have those pockets, not get split, there's all of these little things that go into it. You practically have to be able to read your teammate's mind in certain situations, and that happens after having time playing together. So yeah, I'm really interested to see how that turns out.
Kaylor, anything to add there? You're muted again. Use that mute button. That's your favorite friend today, buddy.
Oh,
I know. I don't know what all you can hear when it comes to feedback, so I'm just trying to take any chances. But golly. Yeah, I think sometimes it depends though, because you do have a team like Pensacola, right, who's been here at this level and they've done it. I think when you have players and coaches that have been here at this level and done it, it's a little bit different than if you're brand new. I don't know. I think having the experience and sometimes even playing together last year, that helps you somewhat, because like you said, there's only so much that in-game training can do, or like in practice training. But when you're also training, knowing what you're going up against, maybe that helps you get ramped up a little bit easier. I think something that my grandfather always said, situations are situational. And I think it just depends on each team and the culture around it.
Yeah, definitely. Culture is key, I think, and a lot of people don't think about how much of an impact culture has on a team, and how it works. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, anybody else for match day 5 before I jump in with my 2 cents here for my match?
Yeah, I mean, my eyes are back up east for the New England division. New England Mutiny welcomes CT Fusion. Top of the table clash. Of course, this is going to catch my attention. My eyes have been drawn up to that east. And yeah, New England Mutiny are one of few teams to maintain a perfect record in the UWS. They're sitting atop the New England division, 12 points, 4-0 record, goal difference of 7. Very, very dominant start. And now CT Fusion have had a tougher start to the season. They're currently, I think it's in second with 7 points with a 2-1-1 record. And the Fusion opened up their season with a very dominant 8-0 win, showing exactly why they were the UWS national runners-up last year. But then they kind of came up against 2 tough opponents in Albany Rush, who they tied 2-2, and then New England Mutiny, who they lost a very close 2-1 battle. So this is like a rematch of that game, and CT Fusion are not going to let it slide easily. They got back to winning ways last week with a very convincing 3-0 beating of Scorpions SC. And yeah, this rematch is going to be a good one. CT Fusion have a point to prove. They have unfinished business, which is something that I love to see in a game. So yeah, it's going to be a really awesome game this afternoon at 4:00 if you can get there, or stream it on 11 Sports.
Ooh.
There's still no Scorpions in the Northeast.
This is true. This is fact.
Kaylor still is not over it.
No.
I think
it's a valid argument.
It is a valid argument. We'll see how valid it becomes, because again, there's a lot going on there. Posted a question this morning for everybody, and for those of you who are watching, I know we've lost a lot of people on Twitter because of California. But my question is look, who's got the best logo? I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna give our potential guests an opportunity to jump on here in a second. But what crest has your eye in UWS or League Two?
I'm scanning.
Yeah, this
Casey
is a
Courage.
really interesting question. Who'd you say,
Gotta
Kaylor?
have it.
I said Courage. I said Casey Courage. This one was so easy to me. I love it. I love everything about it. I don't know why. It's just whenever I was looking through, I was like, that's the one. That's the one that I love.
I like it. I like it. I like the way that there's this like it's a crest, but it's not like the typical like, you know, like everybody's is that shape. I feel like there's this unique. So yeah.
It almost reminds me of the Saints in a way. I don't know why. Maybe it's the
Maybe honestly,
it's,
I say that as I'm wearing this. This very well might be my reasoning.
oh, well, there you go.
Florida Lee.
Yeah. I really like Lank Inferno. I just think it's like it's a crest, but it's really like sharp. The colors are pretty, like the little flame they have going is really nice. The colors look well, and it's just like really updated version of like your more traditional crest. That's the one that really stuck out for me visually. And then also the Pittsburgh Hotspurs. I think that one's really another really updated crest for me. I just like how they mesh the P and the H together, how the colors work. They have a great graphic designer, whoever that was.
Well, it was not me. I can tell you that. I will have to.
I like FC Arizona too. I feel like theirs is very professional.
I like their logo and I like their color scheme. I like the navy with the gold. I think that's a different touch. You don't see that very often. But hey, look, one of the new ones in the league is now joined us, and I won't say a new one, but a new logo. Danny Woodfill, good morning, my friend. How are you? Long time no see.
And I don't know how y'all do this early in the morning on a Saturday morning. Holy goodness.
Well, hey, Danny, the rain body feels spot.
Yeah.
Austin Elite, always with the rain. The white gummy bear coming into play. Hey, Danny, got to ask, man.
White gummy bear is in the house.
I was really hard on you guys last year because I first year in the league, I anticipated a better showing from Austin Elite. And you and I have talked about this. And this year has been a transformation of sorts for FC Austin Elite as it relates to where they sit on the table and even the play on the pitch. What is going on in Austin? What is up with this water that's going on here, man?
It's the rain.
Well, to be fair, this is year 8. We've been around. We've had a lot of good players come through here. Expectations have always been high for us. Last year, we didn't live up to those expectations. This year, I think we're still struggling to live up to expectations within our own house. But we play the games. We're working really hard. Helps to have the awesome coach that we do. Coach Lessa's been really guiding the ladies to keep focused on the goal. We've had some luck, and we've been able to take care of our schedule so far. Still have a lot of work to do, though. We're now at the halfway point.
Yeah, we were discussing that this morning, that we've already seen 18 of the 44 teams in the league been eliminated from playoff contention. You guys sitting at number 1 right now with 10 points and with a game in hand. Oh, sorry, no game in hand, but Athenians are right on your guys' tail. You guys playing those 4 matches and Athenians with a 3-point separation. What's it going to take to finish what you guys started this year?
Fortunately for us, and the Hornets haven't updated the score yet, so it should be 13 points after we get that fifth game in there, I think.
From last night.
And, having played late last night. We still play Athenians one more time, so obviously we got to take care of that business. The Wilco team here is a bunch of college kids, so every game is different from them. And unfortunately, because we've been around so long, because we're the old lady in the room, everybody has a target on us. Everybody wants to play their best game against against the elite. We saw that last night with the Hornets. Man, they knocked it out last night. We were fortunate to be able to overcome that, but when we play teams, they want to play their strongest against us. So we still have a lot of big games left to play, and we got to take care of that business.
Megan, Katie, Kaylor, any questions for Danny?
I was just going to ask how your new coach, Christiane Lessa, how has she really made a difference with the team?
For us, one thing that we've not had in years is a focused, regular coach that was leading all of the practices. And so she's done a great job of bringing focus and being there day in and day out. We offer practices a lot, so we can meet the needs of our players more than we can meet the needs of our team. So her guidance has been instrumental in making this happen. She has a system and a formation in her head that she really works hard to give out to all of the players and make sure that we're all on the same page. And that's been huge. And that's honestly one thing that we've really been lacking. We had a great team. We had great players last year that just didn't have the focus. And even the year before, we had some really good opportunities and good coaching, but it just didn't come together enough. It's coming together better this year, for sure.
Great.
You can definitely see how the change has been night and day. And
right.
we look forward to, we've got that date, that July 1st date circled on the calendar for FC Austin Elite as they take on the Athenians. I think that's going to be a match that's going to tell us a little bit about who's going to be representing the conference or the division in the conference playoffs. So we'll see what happens. Megan, Kaylor, anything for Danny?
So I love. Go ahead, Kaylor.
Kaylor must have had that mute button again. Him and that mute button today are besties.
Always doing it. I was just going to say, looking up and down the roster, everybody kind of knows at this point. I love to look at the colleges where people were at. There's not a lot of overlap with this team. 2 girls from Oregon, 2 girls from Texas. But other than that, everybody's coming from all over, from literally every corner of the U.S. How important is that to you guys to get people with maybe different backgrounds all coming to one place?
It's great. It gives us a lot of diversity in the team. It gives us a lot of experience and a lot of different experience. I won't say that we did do it on purpose, but years ago when we first started, we'd have 4 or 5 kids from Texas, 4 or 5 kids from A&M. We stopped looking for kids from programs, and we started looking for players who really wanted to play, who really wanted to come and work hard and be dedicated and get some awesome soccer in. And because of that, we found some fantastic players from all around the country, from NAIA, JUCO, pros from that played over in Mexico, players that really never had the opportunity to play, and they get to come and really show what they can do. And I think that's the biggest thing. We don't look at, and we're not trying to co-opt someone else's success. It would be very easy. We could just go constantly recruit kids that went to Texas A&M, and Texas A&M is always a top 10 program in the country. And we could kind of have success that way. And we would probably win a little bit here and a little bit there with that. But by finding these players who really want to play, we get a consistent team. We get people that are hungry to succeed in whatever way that is, whatever is success for them. And really, we get to make a difference in somebody's life. So that's really key for us, is providing that opportunity to make a difference in somebody's life and prolong their playing experience. That's what we're here for. And we're fortunate, like you said, we get people from the same school, a couple of Oregon kids, a couple of Texas kids. Our players start telling their friends, oh, no, this is legit. You have to come here. And so that helps us out. But casting the net wide is certainly gives us that different flavor across the board. And Kaylor, this is my first time meeting you. It's good to meet you.
Megan, any questions for Danny?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Austin. I think that you guys are doing great things, not just for your players, but also for the community in Austin, bring high-level soccer. And I know you guys do a lot of work to bring high-quality matches to Austin, whether it be playing against the Tigres or, a bunch of other teams. You did that All-Star game last year at the National Championship. And my question to you is, do we have any more, outside of the UWS matches coming up that you guys are playing against any other top teams, or any work in the community that you guys will be doing?
Thank you for asking that question. I was listening, I listened to a couple of podcasts and try to listen to shows. This year, we've already played Tigres this year. We started playing in April. We're going to continue playing into October. We have a couple of D1 colleges lined up, a couple of junior colleges that really want to make some waves nationally. Some other teams lined up to play. So really for us, July and that the UWS National Championship weekend is really middle of the schedule for us. That's not the end for what we're doing. And I know there are several teams out in the country that want to do the same thing. And get in touch with us, because we've been talking to a lot of teams that want to play at the end of July, August, September, October. Let's take this year round and do something really big. It does open the window to do more creative games and have people come from Mexico or the Caribbean. It does open the door for us to compete with, maybe Caribbean or Central American national teams that don't get good competition, but have a lot of players that are in the United States. Austin's a great place to come and play those games. So we work on that constantly, but a 25 game, maybe 14, 15 game home season is what we're going to do this year. So I think you'll see a lot. We try not to overlap. We don't want to talk a lot about what we're going to do in September before and take away from UWS. UWS is fantastic. The competition in the Southwest is amazing this year. So we love to have that, and we want to focus in on that. But yeah, you'll see some more from us as the year goes on.
I am curious though, is this the first time you guys have decided to play year round, or is this something that you regularly do?
Last year we started early. Last year we started in March, and we were going to continue it into July and August. It's hard to find teams in July and August, very honestly. And so we didn't successfully do that and get some high-level games in July, August, September last year. We had low-level and city league games and stuff like that we did. So this will be the first time to go for that 8-month window, the MLS, the NWSL type schedule. And as we're out talking to teams around the country, some teams only want to play in the summer, and that's awesome. But there are a surprising number of teams that do want to play a game in, but it's got to be worth it, right? You don't want to play, you may want to play City League, and City League's awesome. We have two great City Leagues here in the Austin area, in Round Rock and Austin Women's Soccer Leagues. But for high-level games with fans and hundreds of people and sponsors and streaming and all that, you really want that game to matter. And I think this is finally the year that we'll start to see some of those teams say, we don't just have college players anymore. We can do something great with the post-college players that we have and have a lot of fun with it. So I think it'll be really good stuff.
One of those post-college players, Satara Murray, who played at the University of North Carolina, also played at Liverpool for 4 years before joining FC Austin Elite this past year. Ended up at Bristol and is now in the NWSL. Danny, I got to ask, how important is it to have the ability to I won't say pull a player back from Liverpool or from England, because obviously there was a reasoning, but to give her a second.
We had to take the loan back. It's no, sorry, it's not working for us over there. Right. Come on back.
But what is it like to be able to give an athlete an opportunity, perhaps a second chance at continuing their career or preserving it, and knowing that you may have played a role in that? What is that like for you as a team, but also you as a general manager?
Yeah, honestly, for us, that's the key. we're not here for the summer. We're not here to collect the best players from Texas A&M and TCU and Baylor and Texas and see if we can win 8 or 10 games during the summer. We're here to create opportunities for women in sport, in soccer. The sport we chose was soccer. So that's huge for us. And for someone like Satara, and there's actually a video out there, so I'm not putting words into her mouth. She said it. Like, to be able to bring the love of the game back to players is huge for us. And, Satara was fantastic. We didn't make her fantastic. She played at the University of North Carolina. She won a national championship there. She went to Liverpool and played in Liverpool. She played for the Houston Dash. And throughout that journey, just kind of lost the love of the game. And she wasn't going to play for us. She was just going to help us out because she knew some soccer stuff. And got out, started kicking the ball. And she's like, oh, wait, hold on. This doesn't have to be horrible. This doesn't have to suck. I kind of like playing soccer. And then through connections that she had and connections that we had, she got called up to play with the Jamaican national team. She got there and she was like, well, crap, if I'm going to play internationally, like, I got to be on this full time. And I did. I tried to tell her, like, stay around. Like, let's do full time here. But then she's like, hey, I get to go to Bristol City and they have a great setup there. So I was like, okay, fine. So she went to Bristol. They knocked it out of the park. Fantastic year for Bristol. And then throughout that really opened the door for the NWSL to take another look and say, oh, we like what you're doing. So, and that was always something that she wanted to, for a lot of players, they want to play in the league. It's kind of like Major League Baseball or baseball players. Like, they want to get their chance in the league. A lot of them get there and say, like, oh, no, this isn't what I thought it would be. Satara's been there before, and she wanted another taste of it. She wanted to be able to go and see, like, maybe if she just got the wrong flavor last time. And so we're excited that she was able to get picked up with Louisville to really, have another chance to see what it's like and take her opportunity. She's incredibly fit. She's playing fantastic. And I think that she'll be able to do some really good things up there. So I think it's massive for us. Like, we're not a team that just talks the talk. Like, we don't talk a lot, to be honest. We don't recruit people in like, oh, come play here and you could go to the NWSL. No, come play here and you'll get an opportunity. You'll get an opportunity to face Mexican competition. You'll get an opportunity to face international competition. We want to be better than our Mexican competition. We want to be better than our international competition. I don't ever want to lose another player to the English Championship. I don't want to lose a player to Liga MX. Like, I want them to come here. Then I want to go and play Liga MX teams and be like, oh, yeah, last year America, they beat us. But they beat us 2-0, and we didn't play that great. So it's like, okay, you know what? Let's start playing well, and then let's go back and beat America. Like, let's give that another shot. Tigres obviously wiped the floors with us. There's no other way to say it. They beat us good. Tigres is a really good team, and we weren't prepared for them. I think if we played them now, it'd be a little different. We definitely have a different team and different mindset. So, a little bit later in the season, we'll see how things go. But it is huge to be able to provide those opportunities for players to say, like, we had a couple of players that played with us last year that went and played professionally in the Caribbean. We've had players leave to go to Israel and Spain and Portugal and England. So those opportunities are great. Now what we'd like to do is keep those opportunities here in America. Don't have to learn a foreign language. Don't have to travel internationally. You can play here. We can do it for 8 months. We can play fantastic games against fantastic competition, and we can go all out. So we'll see how that goes.
That brings up a question, actually, that I have. Sorry, Jonathan. That brings up a question I have because I saw where the NWSL, that Austin has a bid for an NWSL team. What do you think that could mean for you guys should Austin get that bid?
Well, honestly, that's sports speculation reporting. So everybody loves to do it. Like we love to do it too. Like it's a lot of fun to do. Until there's something announced. Like every year, and literally in the past year, every single NWSL team has turned over their entire coaching staff. Every year, the game changes for women in soccer in the United States. So we don't spend a lot of time dwelling on it. We know all the people here in Austin, and if there's bigger and better things to offer here in Austin, I'm 100% on board with it. But for the time being, like we could sit around and wait for an NWSL team to pop up anywhere. Miami here, another one in LA, Sacramento, wherever you want to say, Atlanta. But that team's honestly 2 to 3 years out, even if they announce right now. So, like, are we going to wait for that, or are we going to do it? We're going to do it. Right. So, if that opens the door to springboard people forward, awesome. But we're not going to sit around and wait for a potential springboard. We're just going to start springboarding people forward right now. And I'd love to see, I like to think I'm the biggest proponent for growth in the women's game. I think that we're going to have, 10 to 20 new pro women's teams the next year or two. Like there's going to be serious growth, whether it's NWSL, whether it's USL, Super League, whether Whistle gets their stuff together, whether UWS has something. Like there's a lot of potential out there, and the teams are out there. And so, we'll do what we can do in the time that we have to do what we can do, and hopefully make a difference for people right now. If ultimately that means there's an NWSL team, we have season tickets to the MLS team right now. I'm sure that we will know a lot of people with the NWSL team or with whatever happens there. But we're not gonna sit around and wait for it. We're gonna encourage everybody to go see soccer, go play soccer, go be soccer right now.
Well, Danny, I appreciate you giving us the opportunity to chat this morning. I know you've got things to do. You've probably got training today, getting the girls ready for Wednesday's match.
It's midweek, actually, and it looks like that Wednesday match we're going to be able to reschedule for a weekend. So, which was huge because for Wilco, they had a game last night. They had a game on the 15th, the 17th, the 19th. They had 4 games in 9 days. That's murder. So we found an open date on our schedule, and they wanted to reschedule. So that worked out. That looks like it's going to work out well for everybody and give us a little break at the midway period that we can give everybody a weekend off, have fun this weekend, and then get back to work next week.
Well, it sounds like a plan. Everybody getting ice baths. Kaylor, you have one more thing? I see you itching over there.
It was just going to be, I guess, a small question. It was kind of going back to the Satara situation, right? Doing what I do with music ed and specifically focusing on performance, the issue of burnout is huge, right? And it happens to everybody at every level. Maybe you hit a brick wall. Maybe you play at the highest level and you don't want to do the grind anymore. Having someone like that come back and work with college kids or even younger with some high school kids and say, it's okay to reach that point. This is maybe how you break through that. How influential was that to some of your younger players?
I think it's interesting. One, it's amazing how the younger kids, their world is only that big. So, a lot of them that grew up here didn't know that Satara was from here. And then they find out, they're like, what? Wait, you went to McNeil High School? I went to McNeil High School. So it's crazy when all those pieces get put together, but it's huge. And I think that's the opportunity as, we're relatively young at 8 years, but as some of our women's teams get to be older, and you see this particularly, I'll say that Cal Storm does it really well. The Mutiny do it really well, where they have this roster of players who, 10, 15 years later, you're like, wait, hold on. They played here? I do think that makes a huge difference to have the players, to have people with that kind of experience who can speak to the players. Satara, when she left Bristol and before on her way to racing, she came back and came to practice and just talked to the girls. It's funny, our coach had heard me talk about her before, but had never really met her and done all that. And like, our coach was invigorated. Our coach was like, holy crap, she was here last year? Like last year, her here. Shut up. And it does. It makes a big difference to have that kind of player, see it, be it. And then for our players then to see it, be it for the next generation of players too.
Well, Danny, I really appreciate you giving us the time this morning and the opportunity to talk. I know you were going to do it didn't last very long. You were going to do a media ban and not speak to the media regarding anything. But hey, guess what? We got you. I appreciate you giving us the opportunity to talk this morning, my friend.
Well, go play this back and see if I really said anything. I don't think I really said anything. So.
No, it's just our back and forth, our banter.
I appreciate it. Thank you for doing this and for having us on just for a little bit. So I appreciate it.
All right, man, we'll talk soon. Good luck next weekend. And that July 1st matchup against the Athenians is circled on the calendar, and we wish you the best of luck going forward.
We circle them all. Every day is a final in this conference, right? I mean, you can't rest. You can't rest against Hornets. You can't rest against Runners. You can't rest against Wilco. Certainly can't rest against Luxoria, although we're done with them now, so that's fun. And then we got the Athenians. It's a big conference down here in the South.
It is, and we wish you guys the best of luck going forward. Hopefully, we'll see you July 23rd at a location 2BA.
Who knows?
We'll see. All right, my friend. We'll talk soon. All right. Special thanks to Danny Woodfield for taking the morning to hang out with us and talk a little bit about FC Austin Elite and what's going on. I think there's big things brewing in Austin. Definitely a lot to do with what he has built as a platform, and hopefully that continues to grow going forward with a potential, as Katie mentioned, NWSL. But we won't talk about that because it is right now fake news. There is no bid in for them. I'm just saying.
Speculatory rather than
that's exactly what it is. Speculative.
It's fun to speculate. You know it. You know you want the drama. You want the drama.
I don't want the drama. We had that in Sacramento, and look what happened. They went to San Diego and are basically just making life on the beach. So I get it. I see it. So, hey, my matchup is it's not from last night, the 3-2 win of Lancaster over Paisley. I'm looking at tomorrow, Lancaster-Paisley rematch 2.0. Listen, there's a lot going on in Lancaster. They are in the same boat last year, very disappointing season for them. But this year they have an attacking trio of Jackie Richards, Kayla Massaros, and Marissa De Genova, who are leading the league in the two main categories. Goals for Jackie, who has 7, and then Kayla and Marissa, who are supplying the assists for Jackie, and they both have 4 and 3 assists, so making it 7.
They overtook Nina Nescotia.
Oh, what about that one?
I don't know how many she has, but I know she's up there.
She is. When you look at the records and everything, those are the first 2 that come up. Like, you don't even have to scroll down. They're boom right there. But yes, Tagnina is right there. I think she has 2, but they are scoring goals, which is good. Again, we talked about them conceding. They gave up 2 against Paisley. So we'll see what happens and continues there. But that is my matchup to watch to see what Lancaster can do. You've seen the opponent once. You saw him last night. You get a day of rest so you get to digest it, break it down a little bit. What happens tomorrow? Do they go not conceding? They're at home. That will be live on 11. Do they not concede and win the match? I think this is going to be this is Lancaster's opportunity to seize the conference, seize the division, and make sure they punch that ticket to the conference playoffs here towards the middle of July. So we'll see what occurs as we go. But anybody else before I know we've been on twice for almost an hour, and I just want to make sure everybody's gotten their last word in. So let's go last word. Megan.
Nina Nescotia has 6 assists, so I'd just like to officially report. But super excited for this weekend. There's going to be some really great matchups. It was really great to hear from Danny. I love that everything that FC Austin Elite is doing, it's so much more than just the summer of soccer. Like, we love to talk about the summer of soccer. We're all about it, but also the other things that teams are doing within the community, within players' lives. It's great. And there's so many other UWS teams that are out there doing that too. If you are one of those teams, hit us up. We would love to give you the exposure. Join us on the Kickoff show. Join us on Our Cup of Tea, whatever it is. We want to know about you. We want to promote you. And thank you for everything you are doing for the growth of the game.
I second that wholeheartedly. I love that they're committing to a year-long playing schedule. I mean, that's like we were just talking about earlier, the difference of just having a long preseason. Now imagine them playing year round and coming. They're going to destroy the UWS. They're going to come in and be pure fire if they're playing year round. I mean, that's just a whole nother level of connectivity and commitment. So I think that's great.
Bold prediction when you have the CONCACAF's 15th best team out west here with Santa Clarita Blue Heat, who doesn't play year round. Just keep that in mind.
Very true.
Keep that in mind. But what I'm saying is that I think FC Austin Elite is going to really show up big if they commit to a year-long schedule like that. I mean, he was talking about showing up to meeting their own expectations, right? And I think they will definitely start meeting their own expectations by playing year-round a little bit longer. But yeah, can't deny SC Blue Heat. I mean, they're fire. They're fire. So
another 2-0 win last night against Impact. We'll see though. Kaylor, last call. Besides falling asleep, come on, man. You gotta stay awake. You got a lot of touristy stuff to do today. The fiance's in town. There's a dog behind you. You're ready to go, man. Come on.
There's a dog behind me.
There is a dog behind me. She is passed out right now. Last little thing for me. I didn't really talk about it last week because we had another message the end last week that was very important. But hey, this week I want to talk about it. It's June. It's officially Pride Month, and for all the clubs, really take some time to do something special. I think at least do something, because the whole saying around here and probably everywhere is y'all means all. It is everybody is welcome. Everybody is welcome, and come one, come all. Y'all means all. Let's make this, a special, inclusive place for everybody.
I love that.
I feel like Kaylor's going to bring on some Miranda Lambert. Y'all means y'all here in a minute.
Hey, blast it.
Hey, let's go.
Blast it.
I will say this. This jersey is actually really special to me. This is what introduced me to UWS, and that's the FC Austin Elite jersey from 2 years ago. This is how I got invested in the league. Was me and Danny Woodfill actually having a conversation, and him and I replying back and forth in the DMs of Twitter. And they sent this jersey to me. My number's always been 25, and so he had that made for me special. Yes, it's got a little piece to my heart, and as Kaylor's bringing this stuff up, it is meaningful. It does mean something, and for me, the month is just as Kaylor said it, and Miranda Lambert said it first in a song. Y'all means y'all, and so we hope that all clubs are finding a way. U.S. men's national team has done something similar with the jerseys and the coloring on the kit, and providing the pride colors on the numbers, and then reselling it or auctioning it off. I hope those funds are going to use and being used appropriately for the community.
I'm about to buy an SAFC pride jersey. I mean, it's beautiful. It's so pretty, so good looking. And but yeah, MLS has their league-wide pride jersey as well. I'd really love to see a league-wide jersey for us too. I think that'd be really cool. Something that we can all have as our away team or something like that, or just some little extra.
A training tour.
There you go. That's exactly what I'm saying.
The difference is that Nike and Adidas all sponsor these bigger.
That.
Yeah, we're all independent. So that's an Umbro kit. The league, Nike at Lancaster, Adidas at New Jersey Copa. So there's a lot of different entities that happen as it relates to.
T-shirt.
Right.
I'm fine with that.
Right.
Right.
Make it one. Just make a T-shirt and then pitch it to the teams to buy. And just make it one T-shirt, and they have those little programs or whatever where you can just the more you sell, the cheaper it is to produce or something.
You know, there is that new PR communication person who is on this call right now, and I'm going this way. Probably should put it in Stephanie's ear as we go. Our executive director, Stephanie Cleaves, who needs to hear it. But hey, listen, we thank everybody for their time and their energy this morning. You three, thank you so much for putting up with all the mishaps and everything today. I appreciate that. Make sure you check out 11, who's going to be having all of our matches today and tomorrow and every step of the way. We are excited to bring you soccer and have the opportunity to watch some awesome and amazing women show their skills on the pitch. But if you want to learn more about what happens off the pitch, make sure you join Katie and Megan and Harley for Our Cup of Tea. And until Tuesday, Megan, Tuesday for the recap show, cheers, everyone. Have a great Saturday in the summer of soccer in the UWS. Cheers, everyone.
Bye.
I'm a part of UWS because of the opportunity it provides women.
Because it provided me the competition and exposure I needed to get to where I am today.
Because financial transparency is important to me.
Because at its core and within its leadership, it is truly dedicated to the promotion of the women's game.
Because of the competitive pathway it provides female players and coaches.
Because it expands the pathway of our club and offers more opportunities for players to develop.
Because I too support women in sports.
Because of the people. I love competing at a high level with some awesome teammates and getting to compete against people around the country.
Because it provides female athletes with a much needed platform to remain in the game in a professional setting.
Because it's the best summer league in the whole country. There's no question about it.
Because of the commitment to diversity for the players, coaches, and administrators of the UWS.
Because I like the opportunity to compete at such a high level and the advancement of the women's game.
I am a part of UWS because I believe in its vision and its leadership.